Hello everybody. I wanted to do a brief tutorial video on the Tinkercad assignment because there's going to be a couple of assignments in Tinkercad throughout the semester. And so I want to make sure you have a good handle on how to use the program. So in the assignment, it says to create an Autodesk account. And if you follow the link and fill out all the fields, that'll create that account for you. And then once you're signed into Autodesk, you can go ahead and close that tab and open up a new tab and just go to tinkercad.com and use the Autodesk account that you just created to sign into Tinkercad. So once you're in here, it should pop up a tutorial window the first time you log in. I highly advise going through the tutorial because it'll show you some of the basics and how to get around in Tinkercad. Once you're done with the tutorial, you just go to create a new design here. And here's our work plane and all of our objects on the right here that we can drag in. I'm using a mouse, but you can use a touchpad as well. I'll start off with the touchpad. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this box object onto our work plane. And you zoom in and zoom out the same way you would on any other app with a touch screen. So I'm going to zoom in and then I'm going to resize this. We don't want this very thick or very tall because 3D printers print from the bottom up and we don't want this to take forever or use up too much material. So I'm just set this to 2 like that. And now I want this to be the base of the protractor. So I don't want it very tall. I can also do 2. But I do want it very long. So I'm going to make it 75 in length. There we go. So now we have our base for our protractor. Next thing we want to do is grab this round roof object, drag it onto our work plane. Now it's oriented a little differently, so we're going to have to rotate it, but we want to make it thinner. Again, if you click on one of the orange boxes in the corner, it shows you both length and width. If you click on this orange or this white box, up here, it shows you the height. So we're going to make this 2. But we want to make it the same length. So we're going to make this 75. And most importantly here, we want to rotate. Now with a touchpad, if you hold Control and you scroll around, it rotates the camera. If you hold Control and Shift, it will move up and down and left and right. So here's our roof object, and we want to rotate this. And we want to find this rotation bit here. We want to rotate this negative 90 degrees. We want it to lie flat. Again, the 3D printer builds from the bottom up. So we want our protractor to be lying flat on its side. So I'm going to move this over to here, get it pretty close. And now if you click on it, click on this triangle or cone, you can move it up and down. Now we can see how we're doing in terms of lining these up. I want to make this a little bigger. It's kind of small for a protractor. So I'm going to move this up to 22 looks good, but we want to keep the length at 75. So I had some trouble with this earlier, but there's an alignment tool. So you click this top object, you hold Shift and click the base. If you go up here to the align tool, or you can just press L, it shows us a few ways that we can align these objects. Yeah, we definitely we want to move it down. I didn't want to move it all the way down, so I'm going to have to move it up a bit. But that looks, we want to make sure it's in the center. It's in the center. So that looks good, but now we want to move it up because we don't want them overlapping. And what you can do is you can use the arrow keys to move it up slowly. And here we can see that it's nice and aligned. Perfect. So now, the next part, I'm going to grab another round roof. And we're going to resize it again to, and we want to rotate it negative 90 degrees. Move it over here, move it down. Now I'm going to click on this window for it, and we want to select whole. So this is going to be the center. That's a little big, or I guess maybe it's fine. Our protractor is just a little small. Up it to 30. That looks good. So I want to align these two things. Maybe I'll make this a little tall. Last time it didn't go all the way through. There we go. So we're going to select our hole, we're going to select our base, we're going to make sure they're aligned in the center, and they are. Perfect. And now we're going to select the hole again and select our big arc here. We're going to group them. So when we do that, it turns into an actual hole in our protractor. Perfect. So next I'm going to get another box, and this is going to be the kind of arms, the angle indicators. So we want to make it really small and about 2 units high. We want to make it pretty thin. Maybe another 2, maybe 1, maybe 1.5, like 1.5 here. But we want it to be pretty long. So we want it to extend all the way from our base up to the top. Oh, it's a little too high. Yeah. Here. We'll align it. We'll select it in our base and align. We want it in the middle. And yeah, this time we want it inside the base. Got our big arc here out of alignment. There we go. All right, that looks good. All right, and what we want to do is we want to select the cylinder, and we want to keep it as a hole, and we want to put a little hole right here at the base, and this is going to go through all of the angle markers. So we want it to be pretty small because we want it to fit in there. Just align it to the base. Oh, good. It's already right in the center. Maybe make it a little smaller. There we go. That's good. One more to the left. There. All right. Shrink it. So we're going to align all of our angle markers to that. All right, last thing, we need to label the angle. And a straight up and down angle is 90 degrees. So just drag the text object and then edit the field. And we want to resize it. Again, a height of 2, I think is good. And we want to make it pretty small because we have to fit a bunch of these on here. And we want to drag it here, move it up so we can see it. And now I'm using the arrow keys to kind of move it around. I'm not getting the effect I want, so I'm going to go down here to this pick list that changes the granularity of our workspace so I can move it in smaller increments. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now we've done the bulk of the work, because from here on out, I'm going to select my marker and the label, and I'm going to group them. So now that's one unit. And I'm going to Command C and Command V. Cool. Now I have two of them. So now I'm going to rotate this new one and all future new ones left or right to get all of my desired angles. Now remember, this degree marker here on the rotation, that is relative to its current position. So every time you click it, it's going to say 0. Here, I'm actually going to ungroup them when I do this. There we go. We want to rotate it this way. And let's say we want 30 degrees. This is rotating at 30 degrees to the right. So we have, if you do 90 minus 30, it's going to give us a 60 degrees. So we want to align it with that hole again. Yeah, right there. That's good. It looks like it's the right length. We want to change the label that we copied from 90 to 60. And then we want to move it over. And we want to place it somewhere towards the top. I'm actually going to say that that is pretty good where it is. Okay, so just keep doing that for all the other required angle measures in the assignment. There's a nice list there. It shows you which ones you need. We want to copy and paste this 90-degree one and then rotate it however many degrees to reach the desired angle measures. Then align the bottom to this hole down here. And when you are done, take a screenshot of your completed protractor. Again, you need many more angles than just these two. And upload the screenshot to the assignment. And also click Export up here. Choose the .stl file extension, and it will automatically download that file, and go ahead and upload that to the assignment. Last thing is you want to change the name. It auto-generates some kind of weird name, like Funky Blad. Just change this to Protractor, and then your name. Perfect. There you go. Hopefully that can get you started on this project. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any other questions. Thanks.